What's up, Star Trek fans? I'm really pressed for time here, so I'm saying that, but whenever I do this, then things turn into a 1 hour video. But I did a little written review of Strange New Worlds, and I know that it probably confused some people, but I'm going to explain what's going on. And here's the thing. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but really quickly, I'm going to say overall, season 1 of Strange New Worlds, I thought was pretty good. I thought Strange New Worlds season 1 was about a 6.5 out of 10, right? Which is about the threshold something needs to be for me to watch it. Will I watch it again? I don't know. Will I watch it again? Probably here or there. And after watching Strange New Worlds season 1, I thought there were 4 episodes that I would watch again several times. But there were 6 episodes that didn't rub me right. And there was a few episodes that were downright terrible. However, that can be said about The Next Generation, although I would rather watch the worst episode of The Next Generation than any brand new Star Trek. But Star Trek Picard Season 3 was amazing. I thought Seasons 1 and 2 were garbage. I hate Discovery. And Star Trek Strange New Worlds has been it's like hit or miss. I described the first episode of the second season as a candy bar, one of the best candy bars you've ever had, except you were eating it and you found out there was glass inside of it. So you're like, oh my God, it's so yummy. Ow, that hurts though. Ow, oh my God, it's glass, but it's so good. Like it's sort of like that to me. It's like torturous. It's like I like it a little bit. There are things that I really like about it. Like it's really watchable, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's very confusing to say this, but how I would describe Strange New Worlds is that it is very watchable. However, I believe the more that you are an actual more older Star Trek fan, the more it's going to irritate you because it's not even my opinion, bro. This is not Spock. That is just what it is. And the argument is going to be, and I said this already, I said this before I saw this episode, when I saw how Spock was reacting emotionally and everything, I was like, well, they're going to do Spock before he decided to purge all his emotions. Because in the original series movies and things like that, he wants to do Kulinar, to purge all emotion completely. And the idea, in my opinion, their idea is that he's had these different levels. He had too much emotion coming out at some point, and he began to hold in those emotions and to really hone in on the Vulcan side of things. And that's why by the time we meet him in the original series, his emotions are much more in check. But there are even little times in the original series where he's excited. He goes, "Captain, oh my God!" And they're like, "Spock, oh, I mean, good to see you're okay." He has those little moments. So I feel like the fan base does kind of forget about that Spock in the original series TV show does have a little bit of that. So he's still kind of transitioning into that. But I'm worried this is coming off the way Anakin Skywalker became the bad Darth Vader in episode 6 of those prequels to Star Wars. They sort of rushed it. All of a sudden he had to become the bad guy. Like, oh my God, hurry up, become Darth Vader. And it doesn't ever fully sync up 100%. It's like at the end of the movie, they just have to be like, see, he's Darth Vader. And it doesn't quite sync up to the character we know, but close enough, I guess. And for younger people who grew up with those movies, they believe it, they buy it, they don't have any problem with it. But for a lot of us who grew up with just the first 3 Star Wars movies, the originals, it doesn't quite sync up beautifully. I think it works okay, and I don't mind it. But very similar to what I'm worried about happening here with Spock. But the bigger problem with Spock, I believe, is that, now hear me out, and I know some of you guys are going to roll your eyes. Some of you guys are going to roll your eyes. I'm not trying to make this political. I don't want to make this political at all. Okay, I really don't. I am a classic liberal, left-wing type of person. However, I have some conservative traits going on now in my older years, which is what happens to all of us, I think. We become a little bit more like that. But I'm very open-minded. I love everybody. I love everyone. I love women. I'm married to my wife. I have my stepbrother is gay. Like all these things. I'm into go ahead and do inclusive stuff and you know what I mean? Throw in some things that Star Trek's never seen, because Star Trek always does that. Star Trek begins to dabble into whatever is progressive and stuff. That's fine, as long as it's not beating you over the head agenda crap. You know what I mean? The people don't want. But I felt that the beginning of this show was almost bordering on malicious. The beginning of Strange New Worlds was borderline maliciously, I felt, attacking men. I can't be alone in thinking this. And it's not thinking it, it's just what it is. Like, it's what it is. They start the show and, Pike is he's talking to Una. This is a nice little interaction with Una, I thought. I'm gonna come out there and I'm gonna help you, and she's like, I don't want your help and whatever else. I'm not, I'm just kind of making it up here, but you know what I mean. They talked about it was okay to continue this story. By the way, Rebecca Romijn, gorgeous. We got a couple of MILFs and DILFs. You know what I mean? I mean, bro, Rebecca Romijn and Anson Mount are beautiful people. Like, they make babies. Like, it would be amazing. So Captain Pike leaves Spock. Oh, sorry, that's the AEW review. Leaves Spock in command of the Enterprise, basically. And the Enterprise is on space dock. It's got to go through inspections and refits, and they're going to fix the ship and everything else. And so Pike leaves Spock in charge of that. But what I don't like is Spock is like, I don't know what I should do. It's like they're treating Spock like he's a teenage. I'm going to just say it, bro. Spock comes off sometimes in this as a retard. Like, they treat him like he's they treat him like he's retarded or something. Like, he is treated like, you don't know, Spock. You've got a disability, Spock, and you're, Spock. It's like, what are you guys doing? Why is Spock being treated like this? It's just blows my mind away. I mean, let's just recite one of the lines from the trailer. From the actual trailer of Strange New Worlds. You're an explorer. It's easy to forget how awesome that is. You're an explorer. It's easy to forget how awesome that is. Wow. I mean, you guys are really writing some masterpiece stuff, okay? Good Lord. I don't know. But at the same time, I just want I want you guys to realize that I really want to love Strange New Worlds. I really want to love it. I thought Discovery was trash, but I have thought the first season of this was a 6. I want to love this. I had a love-hate thing with this episode. So you're in charge, Spock, blah, 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 blah. He goes to Mbenga. He gives him a harp or music to play. Like, it's just very weird. Okay. And then, Chapel and Mbenga, they're like talking about whatever. Who cares? But the point is, Uhura then, the inspection's taking place. And they're like, hey, we need to inspect your area. And Uhura's like, I'm working. This is my station. Piss off, idiot. And then the guy pisses off, and all the women on the bridge, they just look at each other like, ugh, what a fat, idiot, And it's just like, that's not, what? Why do they like this? They basically, the guy was doing his job. He needed to check the stations. Do you know what I mean? Why was he talked to like he's some kind of moron, mean person? Like, I don't understand. So I was just very confused by that, and it was basically like, women are awesome, you men are stupid. And then when they decide that they get an emergency broadcast from La'an, who shouldn't be La'an Noonien Singh, ridiculous, but okay. Spock is like, we have to go help her, and Admiral is like, no, you can't do that. And so then Spock is like, well, we're going to steal the Enterprise. Okay. So we're going to steal the Enterprise, and that's what they're going to do. The opening theme happens. I love the opening theme of Strange New Worlds. It is really good. I really enjoy it. Gets me pumped up even for a piece of crap like this. So they're like, we got to sabotage the ship and make it look like there's a warp core breach and get the hell out of here. So they start doing that, and then, all of a sudden out comes, basically this is the Doctor from Season 2 of Star Trek The Next Generation. I hate this character because she is replacing Hemmer that we loved. By the way, another female, because Hemmer's a guy alien, so he's got to die. And now here's another female that's amazing and super amazing, better than everybody. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but the females are way better than the men. Like, they always one-up the man because the man is stupid, and the females are awesome. Uhura tells the inspection guy, piss off, you're a moron, and he does. And now here comes Carol Kane, who I love from back in the day. Loved her in Scrooged and like on SNL and things like that. Love Carol Kane. She's always got this funny accent and stuff like that, so it works. She has this alien accent. I love that. That's cool, whatever. But I'm still mad at her because she's taking Hemmer's spot. That being said, she's great, other than the fact that here she comes onto the bridge to be like, oh, looks like you guys are stealing the ship. She just knows. Oh, looks like you guys are faking a warp core breach, and you're going to steal the ship because of some reason that must be important. Why does she know that? I don't know, because she's 100,000 years old, so she's that smart, I guess. I don't know. Why would you jump to that conclusion? I would be like, why are we faking a warp core breach? I know you're doing it. I know we're doing it on purpose. Why are we doing it? But she just knows why they're doing it and that it's for a good reason. I don't know. And I know that she knows Spock somehow. There's a family connection, so okay, whatever. We'll let all that slide, but the fact is, Spock doesn't know how to do this. Spock is stupid, and she has to be like, well, if you want to steal the ship, you'll want to vent the warp core or the plasma from the nacelles or whatever she says. And Spock is like, okay, yeah, let's do that. You're smart. I'm not. I'm Spock, but I'm stupid. You know what I mean? So Spock is bested here now by Carol Kane, the engineer. So again, man stupid. The woman knows. And just like Uhura, there's 2-0 now. You stupid men, you can't do things as good as women. That is not me. I'm not making this up. I'm not creating this narrative. I don't want this to be what's going on. So if you're upset about this, you don't get mad at me. They're doing this. And if you don't see it, I don't know. If you're crazy or delusional or you just don't think that this is what's going on, I don't know what to tell you. They did this in Ghostbusters. They did this in Star Wars. They've done this in a million shows and a million things. And usually a guy gets hit in the privates. And the funny thing is, something like that is going to happen in this episode, which is always just some feminist is taking over this show. I don't know, whatever. I don't care sometimes if women are shown to be better than men, because guess what? Lots of times women are better than men. But is every woman better than all the men on the ship all the time? And why is Spock? Spock is usually like a friggin' prodigy. You know what I mean? I get it, though. She's like 100,000 years old or something, and that's why, whatever. I don't know. It just makes Spock look stupid. Spock, once again, seems like an emotional kind of special needs person in this show. I don't know what's going on here. And then it's time to go, and then look at Uhura. So proud, Uhura. Spock, you moron. Because as they're about to leave, Spock, they say, well, Spock, you got to have a thing. A thing? Yeah, everybody has their thing, they say. Well, how does Spock not know that? Spock is on the bridge as the first officer with Pike all the time. He hears Pike all the time say, hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it. And he hears other people, engage, warp 5, hit it. By the way, the fact that there's a thing is so stupid, it makes me want to choke myself to death. No. Like, this is so cringy, it's unbelievable. They did it in Picard Season 3 as well, but at least it was kind of cute or something, and it made sort of sense. Like, I don't know. I didn't like it in that either, to be honest, but this is bad. Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't like it in that, and I don't really like it in this. But again, it once again is Pike I mean, Spock has been on the bridge. And so once again, all three women on the ship know. All the three women, the two pilots, or whatever, and Uhura, who's like just new. Like Uhura's like fucking brand new. Uhura's new! Spock has been doing this a long time, but Spock doesn't know there's a thing that people say and doesn't know what they're talking about. You know why? Because he's an idiot. Spock is a friggin' moron. And then when he says his thing, I would like the ship to go fast. Now. And he sounds, again, like a retard. I'm sorry, that's what they're doing with him. Why are they doing this with him? I would like the ship to go fast. Do you know what Spock would really say? Spock would say something like, take us out. Or take us to the location warp 5. He would literally say something that isn't impressive. He would say something dead on, what he wants, but very specific. He wouldn't say, I want to go now, or do it. Or he wouldn't, none of that. There wouldn't be a comedy thing. There would be nothing. It would be so bland and just nothing. It would just be, it wouldn't be something cute, epic, or nothing. It would literally be the opposite of all of that. It wouldn't be funny, it wouldn't be epic, it wouldn't be nothing. He would just say whatever he wanted. Take us to the planet Warp 5. And then Ortega could have turned around and said, really? That's it? That was it. And that would be cringe too, by the way. I wouldn't want that to happen, but I'm just saying, going on what they want to do here, okay. She goes, that's it? That's okay. I mean, maybe he could have said, and then he could have said, now, right now. And that would be it. That would be what Spock would do. He wouldn't do this goofy crap. Like, it's just not oh my God, bro, it's enraging. It ruins it. And Uhura's laughing at him too. Uhura's like, like, what a dumb, like, you're stupid Spock. Oh my God, bro. But at the time, I'm enjoying the show. It's weird. It's like, I'm kind of enjoying the show because it's like watchable. Do you know what I mean? It's weird. And like, if I could pretend this was like some like feminist woman's, you know, at the end of Roseanne, you know, it'd be funny at the end of Strange New Worlds, all of a sudden somebody closed a book and then they sat up and it was like modern times. And it was this big cow woman with a shaved head. And she was like, there it is. That's how I would have written Star Trek if I was born when Gene Roddenberry was and I wrote Star Trek. I think I'm ready to submit this to Paramount now. And then she picked up the book that said Star Trek, the original series, rewritten and imagined by whoever, like Bulldog Girl. And then she was like, and she walked out the door and then closed it. And then, dun, 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 and you found out that this whole thing is just a story that you're witnessing of Star Trek, but through some ladies, some imaginary character ladies writing. And that would be really cool, actually, because then none of this is real, but it is real to her because she wrote it, and that's the story. Dude, that's amazing. That's actually really cool. And then I would accept all of this because I'd be like, yes, it's not very good to me, and it's not exactly the Star Trek I like, really. There's something weird about it, but I know why, because at the end, we find out that this is all the imagination of a Star Trek fan who's more of like a feminist, and she writes it in the way she would write Star Trek, and that's genius. And then I would be like, oh, this is kind of cool, because this isn't canon, but it is someone's interpretation of canon or interpretation of Star Trek. I would actually really, really be okay with this show much better, much more, if that were the case. And I'm being dead serious. That is a great idea. And what a great idea. And then we go to La'an. Hey, look, a fish tank. We go to La'an on the planet with the Klingons. And of course, once again, I'm a big male Klingon. But guess what? Guess who outdrinks the Klingon? I outdrink you, Klingon. Like, so once again, even the male Klingons don't stand a chance. So La'an bests the male Klingon because she's so awesome and he's a stupid man Klingon. So once again, for the fourth time since this show has already started, another guy gets put in his place and he's a Klingon. Now, I like the Klingons. I like that they made the Klingons look like the Klingons again. That's great. I mean, they look a little more cartoony than usual, I'll say that, but that's fine. You know what I mean? They pretty much look like the Klingons should look, and they are a little bit nerfed. I feel like the Klingons are a little bit nerfed. They're just a tad bit weaker than usual. I think that's one of the mistakes, that the Klingons needed to be a little more threatening in this episode, but it's pretty dead on. It's the best Klingons we've gotten since, well, Picard Season 3 did a good job, but I mean, it's the best Klingons besides Picard Season 3. It's the best Klingons we've seen probably since Enterprise. It's been a long road getting from there to here and through the darkness. Sorry. But so this is just like, oh wow, I'm just so much better than you but I'm superhuman, but whatever. So she's doing something on the planet, trying to, keep an eye on these people that are sick, and she sends the rescue message, and Benga and Spock and everybody show up, and Nurse Chapel, and for some reason Spock and Nurse Chapel are in this thing, and it's like driving me nuts. It's like too much. Why are they always trying to make Spock involved in stuff? I don't know. But, overall, it was a nice little story. And again, if we didn't have canon characters and original characters and sort of men being emasculated left and right, this would have been a much better episode for me. I'm just going to skip ahead because I'm up against it time-wise. I guess we have a new transporter person. So once again, I don't know what happened to the Kyle guy. He's gone now, I guess. Kyle's gone. We have another transporter person who it's another anorexic-looking little boy person. I don't know what's up with that. Like, looks just like Kyle kind of, but, like, I don't know. So they're, now the transporter chief. I guess all transporter chiefs are, like, tiny people. I don't know. Like, they have to be, like, real tiny people. I'm just being mean right at this point. But no, that's fine. Okay, different transporter chief. Okay. At least they're establishing someone else is there. I think this is sort of like an establishment, like, okay, there's someone else there. That's fine because Kyle's either gone or just not on duty or he's dead. I don't know. It's a pretty good scene here, I thought, but I didn't quite get what was going on when they attacked the Klingons and took some kind of Superman serum. I thought that was ridiculous. But whatever. Okay, they fight the Klingons. They've got this idea. I'm not going to go into the plot much. It was just stupid action stuff that was all right. I thought it was okay. It was fine. The long and the short of it is, there's this ship acting like a decoy. There's going to be a false flag operation, to start this war so they can sell weapons or something. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't even remember anymore. I'm so mad. But so that was kind of cool. And Benga and Nurse Chapel are, jettisoning themselves out to space because they want that ship to be blown up so they don't get in trouble. And they do it. And they get into space, so they obviously start decompressing and freezing and whatever else. I don't know the science. So they beam them on board, and when they beam them on board, they're nearly dead, and they might be dead. But Spock shows up to help Nurse Chapel because she's pretty much dead. Why? I don't know why a medical team isn't here right away, and they don't have, the medical stuff to shoot her in the neck and bring her back to life and just do that. Instead, Spock is giving her CPR. What? Why? It's just so weird that he's giving her CPR. I don't understand that, but whatever. That part is whatever. That part's fine. But then Spock starts crying over this, and dude, it's just like, and again, weak Spock. He's crying. He's emotional. He's an idiot. Oh, she's not crying, but he is. You know what I mean? It's like he's crying. Oh my God, bro. I don't know. This is just not Spock at all. And like I said, I know what they're trying to do or get away with. It's not working really well for me. I think if it was dialed back a whole lot more, it would work, but it's way too out there. It's just too out there to be Spock. This Klingon makeup looks kind of like a little fake and cartoony. Like I said, this looks like the cartoon Klingons, but again, like I said, I'm okay with it because it's really close to honoring the original look, so that's fine. And I thought they behaved pretty well for Klingons. They were the Klingons to me. It worked. I liked them. I do think, like I said, they were a little bit nerfed or a little bit like sort of passive, but that's fine. I thought they were well done. I liked it overall. And again, I had a love-hate thing with this episode. I thought a lot of the stuff in this episode was great, but then there were things that were making me. It was like every time I was enjoying something, someone also stabbed me in the kidneys because of how horrific they treated Spock. The ending part where he celebrates with them to show him like that they're not lying and that they're friends, like they drink the blood wine or whatever, I thought that was pretty good. You know what I mean? And again, like, oh, I'm the know-it-all, like 100-year-old whatever I am. I liked her character though, and I liked her overall. And I just didn't like how Spock is like all Spock does is learn from everybody else. That's not what Spock and who Spock is supposed to be. All Spock is ever doing is learning from everybody else and being told things from everybody else. Spock, to me, has always been somebody who's kind of ahead of the game and very smart. And some people find him pompous because he's so intellectual. And even if you are going to introduce emotions into him because he hasn't got purged his emotions yet, fine. But why is he a moron? Like, it's not Spock. So that was the biggest problem with this episode to me. He just comes off like this asshat. That's just Spock was really cool back in the day. Oh, and maybe boring, but that's why he was cool, because he was so calm and cool and whatever. Now Spock is crying and sad and emotions, and he doesn't know anything or everything. Other people know things. He's got to learn from them. Oh my God, bro. It was too much in this episode. And then he's playing. It's just, oh my, I don't know, man. But so anyway, this episode to me was a 5.5 out of 10. There was just too much weirdness with the character of Spock for me to be able to look past that and enjoy this episode. All the men are stupid. All men suck and are dumb. Women rule, men suck, and Spock is not the Spock you ever knew. That's what I got out of this episode. Other than the visual effects are beautiful, wonderfully done visual effects. Klingons, really well done. Many of the characters, pretty well done. Things look good. Great intro. I thought the idea of the episode was good, but again, it was ruined by Spock and whatever this is. If you're brand new and you're like 22 years old, maybe you don't really know that much about Spock, so you loved this. So if you loved it, that's awesome. Good for you. I wish I could have loved it, and I just could not. That being said, leave in the comments down below. What did you think of Strange New Worlds, Episode 1? Leave it down below, and love to have a discussion about it. We'll see what happens next week in Episode 2. I have heard from people that this is one of the worst episodes of the season. And I've even heard from some people who pretty much liked the whole season that this was one of the weaker episodes, although they liked it. So the people that liked this episode said it was still one of the weaker ones. And many of the people who hated or didn't like this episode said it is one of the worst ones. So I think that's good news that from here on out, most things might be better than this, but we'll see, and I'm concerned. This is Star Trek Late Night, and sorry to be so negative, but this is what I saw. I had fun while being tortured. See you guys in the next episode. Hope you subscribe if you're new, and feel free to support me with a super thanks in the comment section. I could really use it. Or if you really want to help me keep the lights on and keep my electricity paid, because it's not right now, paypal.me/Joe Cronin Show, paypal.me/Joe Cronin Show, or patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show, or super thanks in the comments. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next time.